Hello and welcome to a brand new year at the Crone Zone. So, what I like to do at the start of the new year is I keep a tarot journal that I work in all the time. It's a really good practice and something you might do too, I'm sure. But what I like to do is at the start of the year, a Celtic cross for myself. And that took the question, what is my focus to best serve my purpose this year? So I got that done. I'm still looking at that, I don't think we should rush it. I shall return to it and see, back engineer it later in the year, see how it's going and revise some of my interpretations there. I also have drawn 3 cards for each month of the year to take me through 2024. And I've scarcely begun to interpret those yet. Obviously, I see them and they spark responses, but I haven't really. I'll do that month by month, keep it alive. And I also, after a brief interpretation, I will then return to those and back engineer those and say, well, what really came up? Did I get that wrong? What was going on there? And that helps me grow as a tarot reader and helps me develop using tarot in that way. But, and this is the focus of this video, I also asked for one single card, overarching, overall, that was my focus for this year. And I got the Three of Swords. Now, you could think, oh my word, 2024, and I get the card that's titled The Lord of Sorrow. What's this about? But, I'm 70 years old now, and I don't sort of kick off when I see something that could look like the bogeyman. In fact, I don't really do bogeymen. They don't, they don't cut it. So I was thinking about this, and this is why this is very much the focus of today's video. This has a really special resonance for me. You may or may not know, but on the wheel of the zodiac, each 10 degrees of the zodiacal wheel in the signs is assigned a card. There's a card assigned to that, I should say. And I am a Libran, a mid-decan Libran. And guess which card is the card that governs the period where my birthday falls? It's this one. Okay. But I have to tell you, as things go, I have had a happy, blessed, and exceedingly lucky life. But this card, nevertheless, is there for me and something that I am prompted to investigate even more this year. So let's get down to that. We can see the heart pierced by the swords. We can see the rain, which is like our tears, the storm clouds, the grey background, the sorrow in this card. This hurts. This is ouch. This is things that hit home. We have phrases like I'm cut to the heart, or I took it to heart, or it really hurt my heart, wounds, things we can feel. And of course, they are swords that are piercing. So these are going to come in the forms of messages, words, scripts that we absorb, things that society tells us, things that other people tell us, things that we negatively in self-talk tell ourselves. These are the sorts of things that can pierce the heart. And the Three of Swords is a three. Three is about growth. Three is about creativity. And I think there's a message here. about growing the heart. We need to grow our hearts. It's the biggest job in our life, is to grow the heart center, our compassion, our understanding. We are only as big as our heart. It's the core of us. You know, you can have all the intellectual prowess in the world, but if you have no heart, you're nothing. You know, if I don't have love, if I don't have that, then I'm nothing. So growing the heart's essential. Also, taking heart, having courage in life, being stout hearted is very important. And these swords can get in the way. So let's look at them, what kind of woundings we get, and much more importantly, how we can transmute and transform them into growth. Let's go. We can think of Anahata, the heart chakra, the heart center, that part of it which we need to grow and expand, live from. The higher heart, heart consciousness. But very early in life, this tender center can take quite a pummeling. And this is expressed in the card, the Three of Swords. We all, in one way or another, experience this wounding of our heart from an early age. And our lifetime, it seems, is a process of repeatedly removing those swords from our hearts, only to spiral round and have them replaced with other, more refined woundings, perhaps, but woundings nevertheless. It seems to me that although our personal stories, the narrative of our lives, differs enormously, that we will have particular problems, but that the spiritual lessons, and certainly the discomforts and pain which prompt those lessons, are really very much the same for all of us. And the Three of Swords isn't an event in our lives that we pass through. It's a process, something that we return to. I want to draw attention as well to the heart as the centre of courage in a person. The word courage comes from the French "le cœur," for heart. And we're often told to take heart, take courage, be of good heart, be of good cheer. And yet this can be difficult if we are feeling wounding to our heart. This might make us anxious, self-defeating, cowardly. We may be following an internal script that other people have put there, that society has put there, making us have that "I can't do it" feeling. I just can't do it. It's no use trying. I'm wounded. With swords there, we can be overthinking, worrying. We can have absorbed and internalized the negativity and taken it to heart. It can have struck us to the heart. And that in itself wounds us and damages us. In the film The Wizard of Oz, the lion is the character who lacks heart and lacks courage. And this is very interesting because it is the sign of the lion, of Leo, which is the sign most associated with the heart centre, with the heart and living from the heart. That's the quest of every Leo, is to find that within themselves. And for all of us, for that bit of our horoscope, which is Leo, to find that. And the card in the tarot that we can turn to is the Strength card. So let's bring that into the picture now. So the Strength card is ruled by Leo, and it's about finding that heart-centered wholeness. It's also a card that's very tied to our instinctual vigour, our gut reactions, if you like. And often people will say, if someone isn't brave enough to do something, oh, you don't have the guts to do that. By focusing on the Strength card, we can think about bringing about in ourselves this change, this restoration of self-belief, of knowing that we have the inner strength to take out those swords that have pierced us. Now, you'll see that in this video, I'm not drawing cards randomly from the deck in a deterministic way. I'm selecting cards like the Strength card as a focus for meditation. And this is another very interesting way to use the cards, and something I'll be focusing on more in the upcoming videos. Tarot is a meditation focus for growth. Let's talk more about growth then. The heart needs to grow. If in response to being wounded, we leave the swords in and suffer and let them fester, we incapacitate ourselves. We cripple ourselves. It's just no way to go forward. We have to get a healthier heart than that. If we try to harden the heart, protect the heart, then it can be, those old case balls used to be the old kind of ball with a very hard, tough exterior, nothing could get through. It's like you can knock it. And if we make the heart like that in order to avoid the wounds, it can't grow. So stuck as this little hard knot inside us, it can't expand into that beautiful pink, green, blossoming, flower-like energy of the heart. And the Strength card gives us lots of clues how to go forward with this heart healing that we need to do so that we can grow. Now, lots of hints how we do this. And the biggest message here is we do it with acceptance, we do it without judgment, and we do it with love. We do it with thinking, this is my beautiful heart. Let me love it. Let me nurture it. Let me be kind. Let me not judge myself here. Let's have a look at this. If we return to the image of strength here, we see that there is no actual force being applied. This is not a violent, stressful, forceful thing. This is more about a loving acceptance of what is. So this would equate to feeling, recognizing, this hurts. I have a pain here. It hurts. And sitting with that for a moment or two. And then questioning where it's come from. Why is it there? Yes, I acknowledge it, but does it need to remain here, causing this wounding? I've acknowledged it, I recognise it. I see it for what it is. And when we reach that point of acknowledgement, that can free us up to a moment where we were able to pull that sword from our heart. Once past childhood, we usually recognise malicious woundings, people who seek to wound us simply because they do, rather maliciously. And that may be because we appear to be happy, light, joyful, whatever, and they have their own wounds that's coming out of. usually we reach a stage where we're able to deflect that. It's as though we have a silver shield in front of our hearts, and we're able to deflect that before those swords even land. They don't actually even penetrate the heart. They simply bounce away because we discern and see them for what they are. We see them coming. But there are other wounds, maybe not deliberate ones, ones that we've received, often through people we love who inadvertently maybe have wounded us, words that people have said, judgments, thoughts, views of society that may be based upon our gender, race, socioeconomic status, all of those things. We may have received woundings in those fields. And then I think we can say, yes, this has wounded me, but do I need to leave this sword embedded in my heart? Is it not time to remove it? Gently remove it. As if we think of the heart as our beautiful heart, as something alive and growing and that we wish to grow and expand, then we certainly don't want to leave it pierced by these harsh swords. Of course, there are times in life when we experience genuine griefs. We may mourn, we may be parted from loved ones, we may go through things like this which are heart wounding. And we will feel that. There is that side of life that we will feel these sorrows. But we can't hold on to them forever, because if we do, they freeze our heart and they stop its growth. There comes a time when with love we have to release even our mourning and our sorrow. There's another kind of wounding that's less personal and rather more altruistic and spiritual. And that is world sorrow. That is feeling the sorrows of the world, of its people, its animals, of nature, of all of the things which can make us feel sad. And the answer there, I feel, is that we grow compassion, we grow love, we grow our capacity to respond, but we don't allow ourselves to be crippled with wounding, because that only increases the misery of the world and doesn't help anyone. Let me mention one more sword, a very important one, and that is the sword of truth. And sometimes the sword of truth, personal, painful revelation about ourselves, will pierce us, will hurt us. But that kind of wounding we recognize, and it brings with it the opportunity for real spiritual growth. So we don't allow that to wound us forever. We just take the blow and then we think, okay, this actually is a gift. This is my opportunity to grow, to expand, to get beyond the stumbling block of this personal truth that the sword of truth has cut through and shown me. So in fact, that in its way is a great blessing if we can only see it that way. I'd like to show you now just a small little ceremony that you can do, which can make you feel a whole lot better about swords of all types coming into your heart. So perhaps you'd like just to join with me for that now. And so for those hurts that are in us, that serve no purpose other than to dent our courage and take our confidence, we can say the following. I take this sword from my heart It does not live here. It dissolves in peace. All is healed and forgiven. For those swords within us that are there to enable us to grow compassion, then the following could be useful. May this sword dissolve as compassion grows in my heart. And lastly, for the sword of truth, may I have the wisdom through the pain of this personal truth to grow understanding, to grow my soul and my heart. And as I do so, the sword dissolves. So, on a spiritual level, an energetic level, as well as a physical level, it is incredibly important to look after your heart and be kind to it, and also be mindful and kind to other people's hearts. And I didn't add into that last little ceremony there that you can send beautiful pink, loving light to heal your heart and to other people's hearts as a gift. And energetically, that will really help the healing. I hope you found this video useful. I hope it's spoken to you. We have gone on to a slightly different tack, a different way of using the cards that I will do when I'm minded to, when I'm prompted to. So let me know if it works for you, if it speaks to you. And I'll just leave you with some words from Joni Mitchell from a song of hers where she says, "There will be icicles and birthday cards, and sometimes there'll be sorrow." And indeed there will. But let's use that sorrow for dynamic growth. Let's use it to grow our hearts and grow love. Thank you. Bye-bye.